Hello everyone, welcome back to this video on desktop publishing. Just want to cover a few things first. You kind of know that we were working on the original image, which if we just go back to it here, was a replica of a hello front page of a magazine, and you can see on here we've got a load of example magazines which show a range of desktop publishing applications, but there's more to desktop publishing than that. If we look at these templates here, these are for various social media platforms. These are examples from Spark, but you'll find templates in nearly every application. If you look at WordPress when you're web designing, there are desktop publishing templates there where basically you can just pick and put in the pictures that you want to do. So if we go back, this is the magazine cover that we want to try and emulate with Photoshop. That's not to say you couldn't do it with a whole range of other software, so it's worth you doing some research on that. But there are examples such as Quark Express, Illustrator, InDesign and other software, even Word and Pages on the Mac, where you can do and get basic templates for desktop publishing. Okay, let's go back into our original image in Photoshop. This is the one that we want to work on, and it's simple really. You've got these layers here and you want to create new elements to this image. Now bearing in mind that when a layer is selected, we can use the move tool and move it around, and as I talked about before, the background image here, what I want to do is try and create an image where we're using the rule of thirds in terms of we want the image to give a sense of 3 dimensions, so that when we put our model into the page, it looks like she's actually there. It might mean moving her up a little bit to give the dynamic and the angle, get the angles right. But basically I'm quite happy with where we are at the moment with our model. What we want to do here is we want to use our tool palette and we want to go to our rectangle tools, and what I'm going to do is create the backgrounds first. So let's go straight in, create a background. Doesn't matter that we go off the edge, and there's our first background. Now you can see the color is slightly different from the original one that we had here, so we can pick our colors from the actual images on screen. So we go back to desktop 1. If we click on here, we can actually click in this box and we can pick the picker. So if we click on here, we should be able to use the picker tool to create the background color that we want. Now because I want things to sort of blend in, I'm going to look for colors that are in our images that give us the kind of backgrounds we want. So in this instance I think we've got a kind of grey color there. I'm going to move it around, but I've taken it from our original image, so I'll go OK on that one. Now I've got two ways of putting a stroke in. I could put the stroke in that way, or I can put another box in, slightly bigger, and this time in this box I'm going to make it white, and what I'm going to do is move that rectangle behind that one. And now with that rectangle highlighted, I can either move it up to give me that thin line, so I can just go and move it up slightly like that to give me the thin line. Now it does mean I can click on and off. If I want to, maybe want to change the background, I could create this whole thing could become a template. The next thing we want to do is create a text box. So it's quite simple. Click on text and draw in a box for our text, and it's just going to create a new layer. This layer is going to go above that one, and in here I think we had let's see what we had on our original one. In desktop 2 we had a week of celebration. Back to desktop 1 and we'll type in here week of celebrations. I think I've spelt it right. It's in bright red. We don't want it in red, so all we have to do is highlight it and change it to white. Now FFF is normally white, so we just type in FF. You can use the picker tool to find it if you want. I'll just put in FFF and we get white and go OK on that one. You can see it goes to black there, but that's only because it's highlighted. So a week of celebrations. Let's just check out what we had in the original one. So we go back to screen 4, desktop 2, and that's fine. So back to desktop 1. So it did say a week of celebrations. Now we could highlight our text layer, and then if we click back in here with the layer highlighted and just click back on the text tool, we can just add the A in there. So a week of celebrations, and that gives us what we had in the original. If we highlight the fonts, we can change the fonts here, and we could find the font for our title hello, so that might give us something to go on. Impact, and I'm going to just try and type a new text layer in there and see if we just go hello, and that's not too bad. Could be, instead of regular, we could change it, or we haven't got the options because we don't have the font loaded, but just by changing the size, it's gonna go mega bigger, and just go OK on that. You see, you can get that. So that's one way of doing it, actually having the original fonts. So we could have created the text as we've just shown, but in this instance I've already gone and found from the original Hello magazine the actual font and taken it off the website. Now I'll do another video on how to do that. It's a very short video, a very short way of doing it. I'm just going to go into our original copy, and you can see that I've got the Hello magazine here. If I turn off, then you've just got the white, and then I've got the background that has been put in there. I'm just going to have a little look at this layer and just look at that copy. Okay, so that's just a red layer that's come in. I'm going to move that to the trash. I go OK, and this is the font that came from the Hello magazine, so it's the original font, which was okay. So we take the layer here and Command C on your keyboard, and then click on to the original image and go Command V. We paste the layer in. Now what we can do is, because this originally was an SGV file which was saved for the web, so basically an SVG file is a file that's non-destructive. It supposedly means that no matter how big you make it, it will keep the edges crisp. Now this image here is being reduced to 300 dpi for print purposes, and we've made this size 8 inches across. It's considerably smaller than the original one we were working on, because we were working with the full-size photographs, and I'll do something on resizing images for you a little bit later on. So that means basically that when we've got this layer highlighted, we can make it any size we want, and it shouldn't lose any of the edges. So if I just bring it out, you can see that the edges stay fairly sharp no matter what I do with it.